Good morning, everyone. So now we were doing with the synchronous motors, right? Synchronous motor drives. So I'll continue with the module where we are today going to discuss with the permanent magnet AC motor drives. So this is my contact mail ID. You can contact on this for any queries. Now, permanent magnet AC motor drives, right? So as written here, right, first thing is you should know that permanent magnet synchronous motors are commonly called as permanent magnet AC motors, right? So these are classified based on the nature of induced voltage in the stator, right? What is the nature of voltage induced in the stator? We know that motors have a stationary part and the rotor part. So what is the nature of voltage induced in the stator, right? Depending on this, it is classified as sinusoidally excited machines or the trapezoidally excited PMAC machine, right? So in the former, the induced voltage has a sinusoidal waveform, right? It has the sinusoidal waveform, whereas in this type of PMAC, the waveform shape is trapezoidal, right? So a sinusoidal PMAC has the distributed winding in the stator, right? It employs rotor geometries such as inset, right, or the interior, which if you can recall I had shown in the shown when I had drawn the synchronous motor drive, right? Now here in such type of sinusoidally excited PMAC, the rotor poles are so shaped that the voltage induced in the stator phase has a sinusoidal waveform, hence the name sinusoidal PMAC, right? The stator of trapezoidal PMAC motor has concentrated windings and a rotor with a wide pole area, right? Rotor with a wide pole area also you can say, else I can call it as pole arc also, right? Hence the voltage induced in the stator phase has a trapezoidal waveform, right? So what I mean, what we can infer from this slide is there are two types of PMAC. One is sinusoidal PMAC and one is the trapezoidal PMAC, right? One is sinusoidal PMAC, one is trapezoidal PMAC, right? Depending on the nature of voltage induced in the stator, these two are the classifications of permanent magnet alternating current motor drives, right? Now the speed of PMAC motors is controlled by feeding from a variable frequency voltages or currents, right? So they are operated in self-controlled mode, right? Rotor position sensors are employed for operation in the self-control mode, right? Alternately, induced voltage can be used to achieve the self-control, right? Self-control of the synchronous motor drives, right? So there are different inverter or controller circuits for PMAC also, right? Using a power transistors we can draw. The current trend is to use the MOSFET. You all are aware of the MOSFET for the low voltage and low power applications, and the IGBT for others, right? So the self-controlled variable drives employing a trapezoidal PMAC motor are nowadays called the brushless DC motor drives. Hope I am clear. The self-controlled, right? I came here. The self-controlled right? Self controlling, as I said, is done, right, by feeding it from a variable. See here I have said the self controlling is done using a variable frequency or voltages, variable frequency voltages or currents. So the self controlled variable drives employing a trapezoidal PMAC are nowadays called brushless DC motor drives, right, or the trapezoidal PMAC motor drives, right? So I hope up till here it is clear, right? So next part we'll move on with the sinusoidal PMAC motor drives, right, and brushless DC motor drives or my trapezoidal. I mean individually we'll go through these two, right? Thank you. So today we'll be discussing sinusoidal PMAC motor drives, right? Now we know that why these motor drives are called as sinusoidal, right? Now, so we'll continue with this, right? Just to recall, sinusoidal PMAC motor drives are getting their name because the voltage has a sinusoidal waveform. Okay, so since these voltages induced in the stator phases of a sinusoidal PMAC motor are sinusoidal, okay, these are getting the names as sinusoidal PMAC motor drives, right? So ideally the three stator phases must be supplied with variable frequency sinusoidal voltage or currents with a phase difference of 120 degree between them, right? We know that this is the condition for three phases to be balanced, so it is 120 degree angle between each phase, right? Let it be the voltage or the current, right? Right with this, right? So behavior of such a motor from a variable frequency voltage source, right, I had already discussed earlier, right? Now let me tell you, or let us examine the behavior from a variable frequency current source, right? So first let me show you, right? So this is my Norton's equivalent circuit of a synchronous motor, okay, right? So if I want to write the equation for this now, right, see, Is is the source current, right? If, this, let me say this is my If, okay, be careful, this is my If, it's not visible here much, but this is If, okay. Now If is this and Im is your motor current, right? Now what I write, If equal to E divided by JXS. How I see this, how I have written, right? I'll go back to this. See, If is equal to, we know that V is equal to IR, correct? So what I have written here, I is equal to V by R or E by Z. Z is what? J into XS, okay. So in polar form I am representing it, right, with an angle, okay, in polar form. So this expression is in polar form, right? Now come back to this figure. What is my Is, right? See, as you can see here, Im equal to Is plus If, okay, right? So same thing I have written, Im is equal to Is, right? Same thing I have written, Im equal to Is plus If, okay. Now I have to draw the reference diagram for a motor with respect with Is as a reference, okay. So this is how I draw a phasor diagram. What I have done in phasor diagram, right? See, I said Is I am drawing, right? So first what I'll draw, right? See, I have drawn, see, this is my Is, okay, and this is my IF. We know that IS plus IF. See, come back to this equation. IS plus IS equal to IM. Correct? Right with this? Okay. So now we know that, see, IF, okay, or let me take right, IF and this. So this is my voltage E. So this is exactly 90 degree because I have an inductor there, right? So the angle between IS and IF, I have taken it as delta dash, right? Now I'll write the mechanical power equation, right? So PM is equal to 3 E into IS cos of delta dash minus pi by 2. What is this equation? This is per phase equation. See, total power we give 3 VL IL cos phi, right? Okay, so I was here, right? We had done with the phasor diagram, right? Now writing the equation for mechanical power, we know that 3 phase power is given as root 3 VI cos phi, where V and I are line values, right? Now when I am talking with the phase value, I am writing 3 E into I cos phi, okay? Cos phi is phi dash minus pi by 2, right? Now when I modify this 3 XS, okay, XS into, see, this IF I have substituted now, right? I have substituted it here, so I get 3 as it is, and I have substituted for E as IF into this XS. I have brought it here, okay? So I get IF into XS, and IS I have kept it as it is, right? Now cos of theta minus pi by 2, I get it as sin theta, right? So I end up getting this equation, right? So this is my mechanical power developed, right? Now what I'll do, from this I get the equation for the torque, right? We know that P is equal to T into omega ms. So PM value I have already got, right? So I have put this equation here divided by omega ms, right? And I have taken K equal to IS IF into sin phi, where I'll get K is equal to, see, you need to substitute T, okay? T equals to PM by omega ms. You substitute this here divided by omega ms. So what is this equation is IS IF sin delta. I have kept it as it is. However, I have introduced one more constant K, where K you would get it as 3 into XS, okay, divided by omega ms, okay? So please work out for this. So K equation is this, right? Okay, see what I had said, it is 3xs into 3xs divided by omega ms. Now this is a newly introduced constant here, right? Now delta is taken to, for delta plus or minus 90 degree, my torque value would be plus or minus what we have derived, K into IF into IS, right? I have substituted for, see, when delta dash is 90, in this equation I am substituting delta dash as 90, okay? So you are substituting for delta dash as 90, so sin 90, so sin 90 I have put it here, okay? So I work out with this. So I get plus or minus K into IF into IS. Now again K into IF I'll take and introduce a new constant, which is my KT, right? So it gets KT into IS dash, right? I hope it is clear. You get KT into IS, right? Now hence the torque is proportional to, what you get to know with this equation, see, torque is proportional to IS, which is my source current. So for a given value of IS, maximum torque is obtained when delta dash is pi by 2, because my sin 90 would be 1, right? So phasor diagram for this condition when my delta dash is pi by 2 is shown here. Okay, so see, delta dash is pi by 2 or 90 degree, right? So I have given the phase shift of 90 degree between the current and the voltage, right? So this would be my phasor diagram. So you can relate this with compare that with this one. Okay, see here, right, the IS, right, was leading E by some angle, right? However, in this phasor diagram I get IS to be in phase with E, right? So in this, that's what it is written here. In this condition the motor is said to operate with unity power factor because IS is in phase with E, right? So with this, right, with this you understand, we get the power factor as unity when I get delta dash as plus or minus 90 degree, right? And the important thing is you have to take care that maximum torque is obtained when your delta dash is adjusted to pi by 2 or 90 degree, right? And the same thing we have proved it here, right? So similarly in the braking operation, right, maximum torque per unity of stator current is 0, right? Now we'll talk about the flux weakening. Okay, so there are applications which require speed control in wide range. Okay, so in wound field motors the operation up to the base speed is obtained by varying both voltage and frequency, right? So the speed control above this base speed, right, I am talking about the base speed, right? So the speed control above the base speed is obtained by reducing the air gap flux, air gap between the stator and rotor. Okay, so air gap flux, so that motor terminal voltage remains at the rated value as the frequency is increased. Okay, right? However Im for a given Is can be progressively reduced by increasing that delta dash with the speed. Okay, so this is the corresponding phasor diagram. Since already we have drawn two phasor diagrams, drawing this phasor diagram should not be difficult for you. Okay, right? So you can see at delta is equal to, when your delta is 90 degrees, right, Is is in quadrature with If. Okay, Is is in quadrature with If. For delta dash greater than 90 degree, Is can be resolved into two components, one in quadrature with If and the other in opposition with If, okay, which causes reduction in Im and hence the air gap flux, right? So why we are doing all this, to summarize, is to control the speed, right? We can deal with the flux weakening, right? So what we have done, we are controlling the air gap flux. right? I hope this is clear. So this is all about sinusoidal PMAC motor drives. Okay, right? So next class we'll start with brushless DC, or the second one, which is my trapezoidal PMAC motor drives. Thank you.